Okay, good day. I would say morning, but it's afternoon. The wind's blowing hard, so it's gonna be some wind noise. I apologize. Alright, so it's 2 days after it rained. It rained Wednesday afternoon. Yesterday was Thursday. I worked all day, just about all day getting my stuff turned into insurance on the corn to hopefully get a check out of that. I love this part of farming, but I hate the business side of it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta take care of the business end of it. But what I'm doing right now, before I make them phone calls, we got the tractor and buggy right here. It was up in the field, and I thought it had a bunch of green. It had some beans hung in it, and I thought it was a bunch of green pods in it. But upon further inspection, the beans is a lot cleaner than I thought they was. So we tarped them during the rain, so I opened the gate and pulled the bottom, and to make sure there wasn't no water in there. And I thought it was a bunch of pods, and I was just gonna dump them right here. Upon further inspection, them beans are a lot cleaner than I thought they was. There was some butter beans in the bottom. We might get Robert to run them back up in the header. But with that case, I'm gonna close that gate right there, and I'm gonna get up there with the shovel and knock them beans down and send them to town. They're not gonna do me no good, because these are Robert's beans, but Robert will get the benefit of them. $13 a bushel. And that little pile there, I might get him pull the header up there, and I'll scoop them in there. Let's get in this truck where we ain't got to deal with the dust. Let's get a little status update. What's moisture show be running on them?
It's hard to say because we got a bunch of green stuff around the edge here, but ought to be able to tell now.
There's some a little damp, but by the time they mix them with them dry beans, we got in a field that has some. We got in the field has some kookaburras in them. It's hard to get them kookaburras cleaned out. I'm just looking for that perfect shot for y'all. All the time looking for it. All the time experimenting. Wonder what it's gonna look like. Let's zoom in on that chopper there. Well, we're fixing to run a cold blue, which means we got the LED lights on and the strobe light on up top. Robert's following me out. We got moved 1 mile up the road, and yes, we are going to leave the header on. 1, because we're only moving 1 mile up the road, and 2 is because up the road we have absolutely nowhere to put the header on. There's no room to put the header on. So maybe everybody will act like I got a little sense today and give us some room. We got some wide shoulders up here that we can get over if we meet anybody. If everybody just act like they got some sense, well, everything will be good. We're moving up to the haunted house. And then Robert's gonna have to cut me a hole to get the buggy in. So here comes a blue minivan. Where's Robert? There he is. He's coming up. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to prevent anybody from coming in here. And then I'm gonna run up there as soon as he gets up here behind me and that white car comes by. I'm gonna go up to the top of that hill and try to block and perturb traffic. Alright, so here we go. Got 2 coming from 3 coming from Dyer and a little black car behind me. I got 4 or 5. It's gonna letting out. Gosh dang it. Alright, after that last one, you can start easing on up this way. And then you're going to have 2 coming. I'm going to pull over up here.
Got 3 coming from Trenton, and I'll be... Alright.
You got 2 cresting the hill, and then you clear for a little bit. And radios make a big difference. Okay. Alright, he's crested the hill. He's letting one by. Hell, he's letting a school bus by. He's nicer. He's nicer than I am. Oh, hell, surely the hell that bus ain't gonna pass him then put the stop sign out. Are you... Why would he pass you if he knew he was fixing to drop a kid off in 2 seconds? We just had to have to move at 3:30. That was an ordeal. I'm sure we got called several names. I guess we could have put the header on here, but we would technically be in those people's yards, which it don't look like they care that much about their yard. Robert and I call that the haunted house or the spooky house. Whatever you want to call it, that's our nickname for this farm. And yes, somebody does live there. I don't know the situation. It ain't none of my business, but long story short, we call it the haunted house, the spooky house. And cutting beans right here beside it on Halloween. The yield on these endless beans I just don't know about. weed control, I cannot complain about too much. Once we found out the right combination, we smoked everything out here. There was some big weed out here. I mean big. We was way late to the game spraying them. And we ran 10 ounces of Select, 32 ounces of Liberty, and 16 ounces of an Enlist. And that was a dynamite combination. I wish that's what we had sprayed over every acre. We was just running a quart of Roundup and a quart of Enlist. Enlist 1. They've got another product called Enlist Duo. We did not run it. But yeah, that was a dynamite combination when we figured out what to run. That Enlist 1 was pretty tough on these things. I ain't gonna lie, it dinged them up pretty good. But backing down to 16 ounces of Enlist, really, it wasn't as tough on the beans. It was not as tough on the beans, and it heated up the Liberty enough to make it work phenomenally. If you noticed, Robert and I, when say we go around the field going this direction, we always go back the opposite direction. And we do that because that header, you see how it lays these beans down? Well, if you go back the same direction, the cutter bar pushes over them instead of cutting them. But when you come back this direction, the cutter bar glides up underneath the beans and it cuts them off clean that way, and you don't lose any beans. Shots planned and trying to prove a point. And what does he do? He leaves beans and forgets how to drive a combine. There's a barn up there. It looks like it was a nice barn at one time. It probably just probably was an old farmstead at one time. It's sad that all these little old farms like this are in the shape and condition that they are now. When somebody like Robert or me starting out would love to have a little old farmstead like that to, you know, do something with. Hey, man, that'd be awesome. Can you think of that house back in this glory day in that barn? Then you had this fenced off and had you some calves out here or a horse, you know. It's just, if some of these old men and women could see the condition that worked so hard to build this stuff, could see the condition that it's in now, they would just have a cow. I mean, our place is no show place, but we work hard to make it look halfway presentable. And I would come back and haunt Walton Grace if they let it get run down that bad. Pretty decent looking beans. We're back to cutting 15-inch rows. These are that 4-4 that I've hated so much so far this year. I don't know what they're making over here on Robert. Robert's down below 20 acres of beans. We just cut that 7 down there, and he gets his 27 acres of beans cut. Robert's crop will be out for the year. I still like about I still got about 400 acres of beans to go. I still got a ways to go and about approximately 200 acres of wheat to drill. So we got a long road to hoe. We can cut 40, 50 acres a day though. That'd go a long way in helping to knock them out. They got a pretty good little pile behind them to just cut this little flat right here. Hopefully they're doing good for them. I need to turn the speed up on my chaff spreader a little. Don't look like it's spreading as wide as it needs to. One of the best things Tyson Local Grain has come up with is these customer ticket information sheets. And they have made life a lot easier. Instead of having to call ahead or tell the girl up there at the scales, I can just write this sheet out. We're hauling in soybeans. This is Robert Joyce. He gets 3/4. The landlord gets a 1/4. Robert's beans are on contract and hers are going to be spot price, which is approximately $13 a bushel right now. But all I gotta do is tear this sheet off and hand to the girl when I come through. I wish they'd come up with that a long time ago.
Will it take that long to get unloaded?
You have no idea. They had them lined up back to the little general. They just refuse to run that second pit for some reason. They wait till you get about 20 trucks in there before they decide to run the second pit. I don't think I've ever seen as much traffic down the highway and sketchy hitchhikers walk down the highway as this one right here. It's just plumb scary. Which that's the reason Sam told me he gave this up. He said that they're running some big S-Series combines and they said it's just too hard for them to get in and out with those big combines. Well, we're in a little old, I'd say probably about 2 acres right here in this little old field. Little grassy along the edge here where the trees suck the moisture out of the beans. Robert told me something really surprising. I didn't figure these beans would be making nothing. He said down there on the lower end, he said they cutting 60. Of course, we got a bushel to the acre of pigweed there, but we'll go after them again next year. He's on plans on having corn here next year, so that corn chemical definitely helps knock them back. This is a new to him farm he picked up this year. Glad we're getting him some more acres. They try to find him a few more, and they find me a few more and find him a few more. But we need some bigger pads. We need some bigger farms. Well, we need like some 50, 60 acre farms. This is a bad little drive right here. That's the reason I'm in the truck. I'm gonna pull out and watch for him. He's got to jump. He's got to jump over across the road and cut that. I think there's about 8 or 9 acres over there he's got to cut. But you can't see nothing for the trees. and you can see how fast they're coming by. I like to never got the tractor and the drill out of here. I pushed some of this crap back with the front end blade where we could, I could see a little better, but it wasn't that bad with the sprayer because, you know, I got that Tyler Patriot and the cabs out front there. And you can, on it, you're out front and you can see what's going on. Hope the wind don't lay on us. Hope it keeps blowing where we can finish this up and be ready to move in the morning. Fixing to move to a farm, I think it's gonna be some pretty good beans, I hope. But you can't hardly see him for the dust. Robert said that the beans are cutting a lot better since it rained. I rolled with them for a minute or two and they are thrashing really good. I think we need to let our tailboard down just a hair. You see, well, I don't know when it gets enough material coming through there. It's leaving about a foot uncovered there. I don't know. You gotta be careful if you get to slinging it too far. Your header starts trying to pick it back up on your next pass and you have the potential for your header to start dragging. May need to just leave it alone. But it looks like the wind is blowing it that way. Stinky beans. Robert wanted me to check, make sure that didn't break a section. It knocked the tip off of it, but we ain't gonna boo with changing it right now. I don't want to jinx it, but our cutter bar looks surprisingly good. Cutter bar looks surprisingly good for as many acres as we've cut.